Good morning. Good morning. So I'm on my way to downtown Winston-Salem, North Carolina for the Bookmarks Book Festival. I'm so excited. There's tons of authors there with book signings and panels and all kinds of good stuff. So I am making a little weekend getaway out of it for myself. I'm going to take you along with me. So hopefully I'll have some good, some opportunity to vlog a little bit and take you with me and show you what it's like. It's my first time going, so I don't really know what to expect. And yeah, so let's hit the road. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, so let's go. So it's awkward to vlog in public, and you probably can't hear me, but I'm trying to do my best, okay? Having a fun time so far. I've already bought a lot of books. All right. Hey y'all. So I'm in my hotel room eating Doritos. Not sponsored. But yeah, so I'm kind of done with the day, done with the book festival for the day. I had a nice time. Bought a lot of books. I bought a lot of books, my friends. I did. So, but yeah, I checked into my room because I've made this little getaway weekend for myself. So I'm just gonna hang out here for a little while, kind of relax a little bit. Go get some dinner, probably a little bit later on. And then the Grady Hendrix shindig is tonight at 9:30, so just gonna, hang out until then. So, but thoughts on the festival itself, it was really nice. It was very well organized. You can tell this was their 17th year doing it. They had their shit together for sure. One thing, everything is kind of compacted into, a certain amount of time though, so I feel like you come here for one of two things. You're either very interested in going to a lot of the panel discussions with the authors, or you want to just get in line for signed books and meet the authors themselves, kind of face to face. So, because you're not going to be able to do everything, of course. So I feel like just know kind of what you want. So if you ever come here in your life, know what you want to do. What are your expectations for here? Do you want to just kind of do meet and greets with authors personally on one-on-one, or do you want to attend some of the panels, which were very well organized, also very well put together, moderated wonderfully. I had a really good time. So the first one was with TJ Klune and T. Kingfisher and Lucinda Roy. P. Jelly Clark was supposed to be there, but I don't know. I guess he ended up not being able to come, so it was kind of a bummer. But those three were wonderful. T.J. Klune's really funny. T. Kingfisher is fucking hilarious, and Lucinda Roy is like really inspirational. She's like so smart. She just laid out some like really great stuff for us. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it was really good. They talked about, sci-fi, SFF as a genre and how it's changed, the sort of diversity that's, in the genre nowadays and how important that is and all that kind of good stuff. It was really good. And then the second panel, but after each panel, the authors on that panel go to the signing tent where you can go sign. Not everybody and their mother was in the T. Kingfisher line, and I stood in there for a little while, but I was like, I really want to get to this next panel. Now, that's when I make a choice. Like, do I want to go to the next panel, or do I want to stay in this line and meet T. Kingfisher, right? So I decided to move up to Lucinda Roy's line because she didn't have anyone in her line. So I bought her book and had her sign it. I'm really excited to read it. It sounds really good. And so she signed my book, we chatted a little bit, and then I ran over to the second panel because the panel to me is it just was more interesting for me. It's what I wanted to do, right? So the second panel had Tiffany D. Jackson and Brittany Lewis. I'm so excited. Now Tracy Dion was supposed to be there for that one too, and I'm so sad because she wasn't able to go. But oh, it was a really fantastic panel also, talking about, you know, they're both YA kind of horror, you know, writers, Black women and how important that is, and all that. It was really good. It was really good. So I really enjoyed that. And again, the line though for Tiffany D. Jackson was a mile long, so I did not get her to sign, like, personalize the book for me, but I did get Brittany Lewis. I met her. She's so sweet. But Bookmarks did a really great thing because they had books for sale, and quite a lot of them were already pre-signed. So I did grab a couple of pre-signed Tiffany Jackson books. I'm fine with that. So I want to read her newest one so badly after hearing her talk about it, because she said it was kind of basically inspired by Carrie. So I'm just like, takes place at a prom and all the stuff. Probably hear cars out there, sorry, but I'm in a downtown area. So, and so then again, I just, you know, I could have chose to stand in line for Tiffany Jackson or move to the next panel, which I moved to the next panel after grabbing a hot dog because I hadn't eaten anything all day. I was starving. And then the next one I had Naomi Novik and what's her face? Oh, Lord. The lady that wrote Lakewood. Oh, Lord, I'm just drawing a blank on her name. Melissa. I was saying right. Anyway, my mind just went blank. It was another really great discussion. I did buy a pre-signed book of her newest one also. I haven't read any Naomi Novik though, but anyway. So yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. And there are, you know, some other sort of local authors and that kind of thing that set up little booths, that kind of thing. So I did buy a couple of other books also. I'm trying to support some smaller authors, you know. But yeah, it was good. Idina Menzel was here. I saw Idina Menzel. I saw Elsa herself. Yeah. I didn't meet her, I just saw her. So she has a children's book out, so she was here for that. So yeah. They had a really wonderful, like, kids section. A lot of children's authors were here and middle grade authors, and it was really good to see a bunch of kids get really excited to meet the author, you know, the book they loved. But yeah, other than that, that's kind of the day, I guess. So, you know, if it weren't for the Grady Hendrix show, of course, I could just drive on home tonight and, you know, that'd be fine. It'd be just a day trip, so. But his is a late night event, so I just gonna hang out till then. So, yeah, I'll check in later. Alrighty, so I just want to do a little sum up of my time at the Bookmarks Book Festival. This was put on by an independent bookstore, Bookmarks, that is in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's in the downtown area. And this was, I think, the 17th year of the festival, but the first time I'd ever been. And so it was, I had a really good time. I think I mentioned in an earlier clip that I made a sort of weekend getaway of it. Spent, you know, splurged on a hotel room because those things are expensive now, and just made a weekend of. I went down by myself and just, yeah, hung out by myself, and it was really nice to just, you know, something about a hotel, you know, right? You sleep in a hotel bed and being able to just be there by yourself. It was nice. I even went out to dinner by myself on a Saturday night in a very crowded Mexican restaurant. But, you know, I almost took it to go, you know. I said, I'll just eat in my room. But, you know, I said, you know what? F that. I'm going to take myself out to dinner, have a nice beer. I had some nice food. And I sat there at the table by myself. And it was fun. First time really hanging out in downtown Winston, so it was crowded and a lot of people out. There's, you know, a university nearby, so nice, thriving nightlife scene, I would say. So it was fun. I had a really nice time. So I don't think I have talked though about the Grady Hendrix show, which so there was the daytime stuff, which I think I've mentioned everything that I went to, the panels and things that I went to. Did I talk about the third panel where there was Naomi Novik and Megan Giddings, which was really lovely? They were both really wonderful, and I didn't take a photograph there, but they were really wonderful too. So I enjoyed that. And then, like I said, I had sort of a break time, and then the Grady Hendrix show was sort of billed as a after hours kind of event. It didn't start till 9:30, and so I went back down there, which is why I did a weekend away, because I could have just drove back home if it ended at 5 or whatever. So anyway, I'm rambling. But the Grady Hendrix show, he did his presentation of the Paperbacks from Hell, and which he has down to an art. He's got the slides and the jokes and he makes the whole thing of it. It's super fun, really funny. He just has a lot of character. It's really fun. He's a really fun guy. I'm really glad that I kind of splurged on that, and yeah, so it was fun. So it was fun. So let's talk about, and then I got to meet him afterwards, and he signed my books. So I'll show you all the book stuff. I bought a bunch of books that I'm going to just show you here real quick, and then let's do a final sum up of the festival. It was wonderful. Will I go back again? Absolutely. I'm going to definitely see who's going to be there next year, and see what's going on, right? But I think I also mentioned that I think you need to know what you want to do, like what your priority will be when you go. Are you interested in only like meeting the authors and getting your books signed, or do you want to attend the many panels that they've got going on with author discussions, led by like a moderator? Because you're not going to be able to do all of those things just because it's a timetable, right? And some of the author signing lines were really long, and so I chose to go to the panels because that was kind of more what I was more interested in. I wanted to hear the authors actually speak about their work, and that kind of stuff. So that's what I was most interested in. So I didn't stand in line for author signings. I only did that, I think, twice, and they were for people that didn't have long lines. And I could still make it to the next panel, But the event itself was very well organized and and scheduled out. It was great. You can definitely tell they've been doing it for 17 years. Yeah. So they had it down to a science. So. So yeah, overall, I had a really great experience. We'll definitely do it again. Yeah. And of course there's other booths there of other authors that, come and that aren't part of the, any of the panels or anything, but they just have their own little booth where they're selling their books. And I talked to a lot of those authors, and they chatted up their books, and I usually bought them to throw show them some support. But some of the books actually I was really interested in them too, so I didn't just buy them just to buy them, right? Anyway, so yeah, good experience for me. I had a good time, and it was nice to get away. It was nice to get away on my own. So let's just talk about the books that I picked up there real quick. And again, some of them you could buy signed copies of a lot of things. They have a big book selling tent where some of the authors pre-signed the books. So that, which was good. I appreciated, because again, if you didn't if you didn't have time to stand in the lines, you could just go buy a pre-signed book. I appreciated that. So let's talk about the Grady books. I had a great experience. He would sign whatever you brought. If you brought every single one of his books to sign, he would sign them. He spent a lot of time with people, chit-chatting and talking. He was very gracious to the people in the lines. That's, you could tell that he appreciates the people that are his fans, or whatever. He was just very cordial, polite, funny. Yeah. it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So, I brought 2 books to have him sign. I brought this one because it's one of my favorite books, and he signed Crystal. Thank you for spelling your name the right way, because we talked about how people spell it differently, and that this is the proper way. And so yeah, that was fun. And of course, because it was a Paperbacks from Hell, part of the ticket was you got a copy of it. And I was talking to him about how he had talked about The Searing by John Coyne in the presentation, and I was like, I had just recently read that in August, and I just was like, what in the world did I just read? I just was talking to him about how crazy ass that book was and stuff. And so inside this one he wrote, Crystal, I am sorry about The Searing. So yeah, he's funny. He was funny. And so I talked about a couple other like older books that I had read, so in this last book, which I brought Southern Book Club's guide, because again I love this book too. He says, Crystal, I am so glad my books are with someone who knows horror so well, and thanks for taking care of them. And he has little bat stamps. I mean, he comes prepared with everything, and because we were talking about reading the old school horror. And so I thought that was nice that he wrote that in there. So again, very personalized. He listened to what you were saying, he didn't just sign his name and move on, It was fun. I had a really great time. I had a really good time at that event. So let's talk about the other books that I picked up along the way. There was an author there, Samantha Bryant. You may have heard of her. She was selling some of her books there, and some of the books that she has a story in a collection. So I brought actually a couple of the collections. I bought this one, Dead Man Humor, 13 Fears of a Clown, because scary clowns. So she has a story in here. She did sign that as well. She's an author that had a booth there. So I mean, scary clown stories can't really do wrong there. And she also has a story in this, which I've seen this book before and had been very interested in. It's called Slay, Stories of the Vampire Noir, edited by Nicole Givens Kurtz. But again, Samantha signed it. She has a story in here. And a lot of people have, and Elle Marie Wood is in here. I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with them, but Elle Marie Wood I've definitely heard of. The Last Vampire Huntress. There's a lot of stories in here. This is a big anthology, so I'm excited. Yeah, bring back vampires, right? So yeah, I was excited to get that one. And she does have this sort of series of books that I thought would be really fun to read. Is a menopausal superhero book. This is book 1, Going Through the Change. The change is difficult for everyone, but for these 4 women, the transformation is bigger than they ever imagined. They all lived normal lives, and blah, 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 blah. They were going through menopause. And I just think it sounds like a lot of fun. I think there's maybe like 4 books in the series, so I'll get the first one, see how it is. So these are all put up by Falstaff Book, which I see is right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't know if Samantha lives here in North Carolina. Maybe she does. And so she signed this one also. To Crystal, we are all heroes. I thought this would be fun as a somewhat premenopausal woman myself. I thought that could be a lot of fun, and something different for sure. I did pick this one up. It's a mystery. There's a mystery author there, and what's the author? Lee Clark, and she. I put that there. The Cypress River Media. So this is like I said, mysteries, and I think it's a series. I think it were 3 books out so far. It just sounded pretty interesting. I don't read a ton of like just sort of mysteries, but this takes place in this sort of invented town called Peak, North Carolina, which is just outside of Raleigh, but she said it's basically based off of Apex, North Carolina, if you know Apex. There's this guy named Alan Lingle, an odd but iconic figure in this small town. Why would anyone want to murder him, though? So Matthew Payne is a detective, and so he's figured out the murder, right? So I thought that could be fun, right? Let's see. I think. Oh, they're all kind of scooched around in order. Oh, this guy was super interesting. Darren Kennedy. He has several books out, but I bought a couple of them. This one I thought sounded really cool. It's a take on The Christmas Carol. So here is Darren Kennedy right there. I love, the swag. When you're an author, you got to get the swag, right? So he'll sign those as well. So this one sounded cool. Like I said, it's a take on The Christmas Carol, and it just sounded pretty interesting. So maybe I'll give this a go in December. It could be fun. And this one I had to pick up because Baba Yaga right there on the front. Anything Baba Yaga, I am down. This is the Muskogee Riddle, the Fugue and Fable Book 1. He has this book series that's based, where each one is based off of a piece of music, and it just sounded like really interesting. He really talked it up really well. So yeah, I'll sign it for you, and yeah, it just sounded really interesting. So kind of like a fantasy, I think I mentioned Tiffany G. Jackson was there. Her signing line was extremely long. So I didn't stand in the line. But I bought a pre-signed book, and that's fine. So I picked up White Smoke. This one was one I've been interested in. So I went ahead and picked that up. And her newest book, let me find that. Her newest book, which sounded interesting because she was talking about it, which is the reason why I wanted to go to the panels. This was sort of a take off of Carrie, the Stephen King story, Carrie, and so that I was like immediately. So again, I just picked up a pre-signed copy. It's fine. I cannot wait to read this. It sounds amazing. The whole prom time, and it sounds good, y'all. I haven't looked up any kind of reviews to see what people are thinking about it, and she was so cool. That panel with Tiffany D. Jackson and Brittany. Oh, what's Brittany's name? I'm drawing a blank on it. Oh, was amazing. They were just really cool. I picked this one up. This isn't a panel that I got the chance to go to. There was a big kind of romance panel, but I picked this one up. It's an American Fairy Tale by Adriana Herrera. As you see, it is a LGBT romance, and again, just a pre-signed copy is fine. And it just sounded really cool and cute. Sometimes I just love a little good romance. Sometimes these are good like slump busters also. So yep, pick that one up. This guy, I picked up a couple of his books, I thought. Where's the other one? Yeah, I picked up a couple of this guy's books too because they seemed really cool. Fantasy books. And the guy, chatting him up. What's the author? Christian Warren Freed. I'll put that there. Was just a really cool guy. We talked for a little bit. He's like a veteran and wrote some of these books while he was when he was in Afghanistan and serving time. He would kind of write in spare time. I thought that was really amazing. So yeah, I picked up a couple of his books to give them a try. Tomorrow's Demise, The Extinction Campaign. This one was a cover. Because the cover is really cool. So I think they're kind of darker fantasy. He didn't say they were very dark, but on the side of fantasy. I said this one has maybe some horror elements into it. So it sounded pretty cool. So yeah, I'm hoping to give these books a try pretty soon, so that I can chat about them to you and recommend them. And again, he signed them right there. And this one was book 1 of a trilogy, I believe. This is called Dreams of Winter, Yet Forgotten God's Tale. Anything like where like old gods come back, I'm pretty interested in it. And so in a troubled time, for the old gods are returning, they want the universe back. Like, that's all I kind of really needed to know. and a cool cover. The author was really really interesting. And so yeah, I just went ahead and bought it. I spent a lot of money. Buying these books. It's okay. After hearing Lucinda Roy speak, so she was on the panel with TJ Clean and T. Kingfisher, I said I've got to get her book. And so I did pick up The Freedom Race by Lucinda Roy, and it just sounds amazing. She was awesome. She's like super smart. Man, it's so cool. So the Second Civil War, the sequel, came and went in the United States, leaving radiation sickness and fractures too deep to mend. One faction, the Homestead Territories, dealt with the devastation by recruiting immigrants from Africa and beginning a new slave trade, while the other two factions stood by and watched. So, when I hear her talking about this book, it just there's a lot going on in here, and so I was like, I gotta read this book. So she is also someone that I stood in line. I got to stand in line for, and got to say hello to her face, and I'm really, really keen to read this one. It sounds so interesting. So I was very happy to pick this one up, and just say hi to her. So she lives in Charlottesville, Virginia. So she's not far from here. Brittany Lewis was that author. So this was a book I was super interested in reading anyway, and of course after hearing her speak, I was like, let me go buy that. And she's one of the authors that I just go in her line and said hello, and I'm super excited. They're not, and what she and Tiffany D. Jackson talk about, where there's not really a ton of Black authors writing YA horror, and I thought that was really interesting. I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I can't, doesn't seem to be that many out there, and so yeah, I wanted to definitely give this one a go. I think this is a zombie-ish type story, so I'm excited because it sounds really great. So I did pick up a Wiley Cash also. He's a North Carolina Appalachian area author who I really enjoy. He had some pre-signed there. He did an event on the Friday of the festival, which I didn't go down on a Friday, but so I just thought I'd pick up a signed copy because I'm a big Wiley fan. I think he does good stuff. He does good stuff, and so yeah. Okay, just a couple of more. I did pick up Call Me Amalia while I was there. I was bummed I didn't get to get in his autograph, because I did bring my Tristan book to hopefully get him to sign that one for me, because I loved Tristan Punches a Hole in the Sky. But again, the timing, I just, you can't do it all. So, but they had some pre-signed there, so I picked up this one. The Last Gate of the Emperor, which I hadn't read this little series yet, so this is a middle grade. He writes middle grade primarily. So yeah, sounds like a fantasy, kind of futuristic, kind of sci-fi maybe. Yeah, looks very sci-fi, so be maybe a bit different from the Tristan series, which is more fantasy based. So yeah, sounds fun. And last but not least, I mentioned Megan Giddings. I picked up her newest one, The Women Could Fly. So she also wrote the book Lakewood. Again, I just picked up a pre-signed because nobody got time for all that. Let's see. Yeah, this one, I won't go into it. This video is way too long now, but just was excited to pick up her new one. And I think that's it. But it was a lot. Picked up a lot of books there, but I supported some indie authors that were there at their booths and, hawking their wares, they're putting the time in. So I wanted to show some support. And again, just support the festival itself, because they are it's a nonprofit bookstore. Everything is by donation, so which I think that they put this whole festival on by donation is amazing. They did a really good job. So hopefully this all makes sense, and you enjoyed the little clips that I was able to take. I didn't take too many. It was awkward filming out in public, right? But yeah, so I did a few little things, but yeah. So hope you enjoyed this, and let me know if you've ever been to like a big book festival like this, and got it, if your experiences with it, or if you went to this one in particular, maybe you enjoyed it also. Maybe we can all catch up together next year if you go. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to end it here. I appreciate your time as always. Thanks so much